Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today, students, we are going to study arithmetic operations between fractions. We are going to study about the fractions, how we can add two fractions and subtract two fractions and divide the two fractions, and or we can multiply two fractions. How we can do these operations between the two fractions. Before we are going to study the operations, first of all, we should know what is fraction. A fraction in simple word is the part of the total whole number or whole of the how many parts we are take from the whole body or any other things. Just like if I take a circle like this and I make it two parts of circle here from the center and one part is shaded. So what is how I can write this in the form of fraction? So here I can write like this 1 by 2. 1 is the part which is shaded and total part of the circle is 2. So I can write the shaded part in the form of the fraction like this. We have another shapes like rectangle, square, and many other kind of shapes we have. Suppose we have a like rectangle and I make different parts of the rectangle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and I shaded 3 part of the rectangle. So what is how I can write this in the form of fraction like this? I can write 3 the shaded part and total part is 6. So the parts of the whole figure is we can write in the form of the fraction. So in simple word, fraction is write in the form of P over Q form, you can say, or we can in the form of number we have the rational number, which is also defined like this. The number which is written in the P over Q form, where Q is not equal to 0 is known as the rational number. So we are not going to study the number system. So we come to back to our topic, arithmetic operation between the fraction. So you know that what is fraction. Now we can apply the different arithmetic operations. Arithmetic operation include addition, subtraction, division and multiplication. So first in this lecture we are going to use addition and subtraction only. Then in the next lecture we will study about the multiplication and the division between the two fractions. So I am going to I'm going to first take the addition between the two fractions, and I will explain how we can solve different types of fraction with the arithmetic operation division, with the arithmetic operation addition, division in next lecture. So see, okay, in fraction, let's suppose I write this number, this fraction. So here the fraction have two parts. The above part is known as the numerator and below part of the slash, or you can say division, is known as the denominator. A fraction have two parts. The above part is known as the numerator and the below part is known as the denominator. So I take some examples, or I can take fraction, two fractions, and then we can apply the addition rule. Okay, let's suppose I have a two fraction 1 by 2 and 3 by 2. So I can add, we want to add these two fractions. So how we can add? It's a very simple rule. First we have to see their denominators. You can see both fraction have same denominators. So if the both fraction, if number of the fraction you have to add or subtract, they have same denominators, you should simply write like this. You should write same denominator like this 2. Both have two both have 2 in their denominator. So we can only write once in time 2 in the denominator and just simply add if we want to add these two fractions, simply just add the numerator above and we get 3 plus 1 4 divided by 2. So 2 ones are 2 for simplification, 2 ones are 2 and 2 twos are 4 and we get the answer 2. This is the one kind of the fraction. We have different types of the fraction. This kind is a type of the fraction which have same denominator. So in another type of the fraction, what kind of another type of the fraction? If we don't have same denominator. For example, I have 4 into 3 plus 3 into 4. Okay. So now I got two different denominator, not the same denominator. So how we can add these two fractions? It's a very simple way. They have many different methods to add such kind of the fraction. So I explain all the methods. First method is, we can add here first method, simplify. How we can solve? We can simplify, multiply these two number here in denominator, and by cross multiplication 4 here we can 4 multiply by this 4, this 4 I take multiply by this 4, and this 3 I multiply by with this 3 in the numerator, and we can write like this 3 into 3. So what is the result? 4 into 4 16 plus 3 into 3 9 and 4 into 3 12. So what we get? 16 plus 9 is 25 over 12. So this is the answer of this fraction. This is the one method I solved like this. Again we can solve by the second method. See, second method, same fraction, we can take 4 over 3 plus 3 by 4. How we can solve by the second method? You can make their denominator same. How we can make their denominator same? We can multiply by such number which make them same. For example, I multiply 3 by 4 and here 4 by 3. So we get 4. If I multiply by 3 into 4, this is the rule. Here you can here is the rule you should understand. What is the rule? If I multiply 3 by 4, we must multiply 4 by 4 same. If I multiply the number with some number, I should divide the same number by that number. Which means if I multiply, here we have an example A. If I multiply by 3 here by myself, then I should divide by 3 here, because 3 into 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1 and the number remain the same. So there is no change in the number. That's why we should divide the number and then we should multiply with the same number. And if we should add some number in the equation, we should subtract the same number from that equation, so that our equation become not change. Okay, now here 3 into 4 is equal to 3. I multiply 4 over 3 by 4 over 4. Okay, and here 3 by 4 multiply by 3 divided by 3. If I multiply 3 by 4, I must multiply 3 by into 3 in the numerator also. If I multiply denominator with 3, I should multiply the 3 with the numerator, so that there is no change in the our question. Okay, now 4 into 4 16, 4 3s are 12 plus 3 3s are 9 and 4 3s are 12. Now you got the denominator same. So what we will do? We will apply this rule. We will write just denominator below and add the numerator like this, and we get the 25 over 12, and we get the same answer as it is. So here we have the second method to solve such kind of fractions. But if we have another type of fraction just like this, for example, see, if we have a multiples of numbers, like you can say I have 5/10, or you can say 2/10, 3/10 plus okay, we can take 1/20. Okay, now here we have two different denominators, but 10 is the multiple of 20. So if 10 is the multiple of 20, we can only write 20 here. This is another method to solve the fraction. Okay, so we only take 20 here, not 10 into 20. You can solve like this also. We can write 10 into 20 here, and 20 multiplied by 3 plus 1 into 10. You can also solve like this. But we have at the end we have a large number, and we can simplify that number. But we can also solve like this, because I'm solving this number by this method, because we can learn one more method how to solve such kind of the fractions. So here we have a 20. So 10. How many times 10 have 20? 10 2s are 20. So 10 into 2 we get 20. So here this 2 we can write here, multiply by this 3, and operation we can write below, and then 20 multiplied by 1 equal to 20. So we can write 1 here and multiply by 1 here. So what we get, 3 2s are 6 plus 1/20. 6 plus 1, 7/20. So here we get the answer 7/20 by this method. So we can also solve like this method by taking such method like this. If we multiply 10 into 20, here 20 into 3 plus 1 into 10. So what we get, 23 is 60 plus 10/10 into 20, 200. So what will you get? 60 plus 10, 70 divided by 200. Here you can see we get the large numerator and large denominator. Here we only get the answer. Now we can simplify this number. We can just cut 0 by 0 and we get the 7/20. Or we can solve like this, 7 into 10, 70, and 20 into 10, 200. So 10 cancel, and we get the 7/20. So we have many methods to solve the fraction. We can solve the arithmetic operation between two fractions. We have many methods. So here are the few methods I explained to you today, and in the next lecture we can study how we can subtract two fractions. We have two different types of fraction. We can subtract them. One method is also you can do here is, if the number is just like you can say, just take another examples. Just take another example. I just remembered one more method, one more type of the fraction. If we have just like 5/15 into plus we can say 3 divided by 30. So here you can see we can have such kind of fraction. So we can simplify this fraction. How we can simplify? See this, 5 is the multiple of 15. So 5 1s are 5, 5 3s are 15. 3 also is the multiple of 30. 3 10 times 30. So 1/3 plus 1/10 we left here. Now we can simplify. 3 into 10, and then we can 10 by 1 and plus 3 into 1. So here we have 30, and 10 plus 3, 13. So we get the answer. Yes, you can one more type of fraction. If we have 2/3 plus 4. Now there is no denominator here. There is no denominator here. If there is no denominator other than any number, then you have a denominator here which is equal to 1. In practical, if there is no number divided by any number, then there is only one number which is divided by number is 1. So there is a denominator, but we can't see because there is nothing written there. So if there is nothing written there, there is always a 1 there. So this now easily we can solve. 1 into 2 plus 4 into 3. So here we get 2 plus 4 3 is 12 and 3 into 1 3. 12 plus 2 14 divided by 3. That's the answer. So today we learned how we can solve the fractions by adding them, or we have different methods to solve the fractions. I explain you different types of methods, and you can easily learn. It's a very easy methods to solve the fraction, arithmetic operation between two fractions. Today we study the addition. Today we study the sum of two fractions. We can also set sum or addition is the same word meanings. So in next lecture we can study how we can subtract the two fraction. Thank you.